Just some quick kettlebell deadlift variations. I'll get straight into it. The first one, we'll do with a squat movement. Yes, you can deadlift with a squat movement. First, understand that deadlifting does not mean you do it with a hip hinge. A hip hinge is the movement. Deadlifting means lifting that weight. All right, a squat, 3 joints, looking ahead. Bending at the ankles, especially dropping those knees forward, pulling them out, pushing your hips low, keeping the shoulders high, looking ahead, grabbing the weight, no need to look at it, and stand up. Great to work on those quads. You'll really feel them. You can alternate, really pull that shoulder up, so you're working your traps as well. You can alternate each rep. If you've got a really heavy weight, you can use 2 arms. Don't hold your breath. Make sure you check out the end of the video for that really cool deadlift variation that you probably haven't seen before. Same thing, but then with a hip hinge. Bending at 2 joints, the knees and the hips, not the ankles. Keep the shins vertical. You can do that stiff-legged as well, which means 1 joint, which is really the true hip hinge, because you're not involving the knees. You could do 2 arms, 1 kettlebell. You can do alternating. You can even do 2 kettlebells. Do it nice and slow, nice and controlled. You using this for strength. Power exercises are like cleans and all that. You don't want to do a deadlift too fast, okay? So focus on that. So what have we got so far? We got the squat deadlift, we got the hip hinge deadlift. So the difference between the squat is this: squat, hip hinge, 2 joints, 1 joint. Then you got what they call the RDL, Romanian Deadlift, what I call the 3HL, hip, hinge, hang, lift, because the weight is hanging. So you can deadlift it up with a squat, and then you're doing the same thing as you do with the hip hinge deadlift, but the weight is not coming dead to the ground, it's hanging. So that's great to keep tension on your glutes and your back. So we got squat, hip hinge, RDL. We also got a suitcase deadlift. Suitcase deadlift, the feet are under the hips, using 3 joints, really pushing those knees forward, hips back, look ahead, grab your weight. It's like carrying your groceries or picking them up. Okay, that's 3 already. Then with a lunge, so I'm kneeling with that back knee, gently tapping the ground. Now I'm grabbing my weight, I'm pulling that shoulder up, not bending forward. All the strength is coming from this leg. I like to bring that right foot off the ground, so I know I'm doing the work with this one leg. And I'm working on stability. Again, nice and slow. If you want to know that you own a movement, do it slow. If you can't do it slow, you don't own the movement. That's the first step in your progression with all the exercises. Can you do it slow? No? Then don't go to doing it fast. Fast is easy, but biggest chance of running into injuries and doing it wrong. First master it slow, then fast. An example, squat, deadlift, slow, squat, deadlift. Now, clean, dead clean. If I didn't master this movement first, then I should not be doing the dead clean, which is explosive. Okay, so we got 4 deadlift variations. And all of those you can make more intense by, for example, bringing one bell up, deadlifting with a squat, you can bring it overhead, suitcase, of course that's not going to work for a hip hinge because you're coming forward. And we could make this more intense. Seriously, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So many more deadlift variations that are possible, and they're really interesting. You should explore all of them. Now, for more kettlebell exercises, if you want an encyclopedia with all the exercises in it, then check out Kettlebell Exercise Encyclopedia by Cavemantraining. It's on Amazon.com and on the link below. Buy yourself a copy there. So if you want hard copy, go to Amazon. If you want to download everything in one book and have it accessible on your phone, computer, laptop, etc., then go to cavemantraining.com and buy it there. Here's that variation I was talking about. It's a curtsy deadlift. So curtsy lunge is this, which is really good to work on your ankles, to work on external hip rotation. You got to make sure that you have that and progress safely. So this is not an exercise that you jump into because you're going to mess up your knees. It's a good exercise if you first learn the curtsy without weight and work on your range. So this would be your first range for weeks, then it would be here for weeks, then it would be here, and then it's time to pick up that weight. So the curtsy deadlift. You can make this more complex by bringing one bell here into racking. Make sure you check out Master Kettlebell Racking, a free PDF by Cavemantraining. Just type it in the search engine. You can download that. Over 25 pages just on racking. It's free info. It's going to open up a new world to you. So you can rack one, hang one, and deadlift it. You can, if your overhead mobility is good and your lockout, you can bring one overhead and deadlift it. Why would you want to do all this? It's all just for fun and to look cool. No, it's not. Absolutely not. You are going to use muscles in a way that you haven't used them before. You are going to be conditioned for angles that you're normally not conditioned for. Okay, so especially if you're a fighter or want to turn yourself into a good athlete, if you want to injury proof yourself, then you want to do these things, but not to look cool. You want to do it for a reason, and you want to take the right progression. So never blame a kettlebell or an exercise for your injury. It's because you didn't invest time into learning the correct progression. I know this is something most people don't want to hear. It's just the way it is. Most people, including myself, just want to jump in and do the workouts, forget all this technique stuff. You know, everybody's like that. But I had to teach myself to slow down and not focus on jumping in here, but spending time here. And seriously, after being nearly 2 decades in this business, we always see the same thing. I run many groups, kettlebell beginner groups, and people come after months, I've got tendonitis. It's always the same story. Even though at the top of the group we got preventing kettlebell training injuries pinned. Nobody looks at it, nobody buys it, it's less than $20, nobody's interested in it. It's the least bought book that we have. Everybody jumps into the kettlebell workouts and challenges book, which we sold thousands of. So my point is, and I know people don't want to hear it, but really, if you're just getting started, do yourself a favor, because you're either gonna be out of action for 12 months and you might not even come back, or you spend some time doing it right, doing it slower, just slowing down. And that's the hardest thing, because you love kettlebells. You're gonna love what you see. It's hard to slow down. But make yourself a program and set some goals to get things right, and stick to a few things and do that right. Master it and then move on to the next thing. So again, I suggest joining our groups. Check the link below. We got nearly 50,000 or more, actually, nearly 100,000 people in all the groups combined there, and the groups are managed really well, so there is no trolling, no fun making. Yes, we're all about fun, but when you allow jokes and all that all the time, then people don't know what's a joke anymore. So we try to keep it serious and focus on questions and technique and just kettlebells. So check out those groups, come and join them, ask questions, don't feel embarrassed to ask something. The only stupid question is the question not asked. Okay, so if you're interested in learning correctly, then either take a course online, cavemantraining.com/shop, or buy a book and read the book. When you take a course, you can get coaching with it from our trainers. So you get assessments, exams, etc., videos, books, and you know you're doing things right, because we won't let you pass until you do it right, step by step. That way, you know you're doing it right. It costs money, but in the end, it's worth every penny that you invested, because the other option is spending years just playing around and injuring yourself. Maybe not so bad, maybe you're out for a week or 2 weeks, maybe you get tendonitis and you're out for 3 months to 12 months. You know, it ain't worth it. So check it out, www.cavemantraining.com/shop. If you don't know what to buy, feel free to ask, and see you there in the groups.